a lot of people talk about sleep hygiene. There's all kinds of stuff out there, which is, it's noble. It requires self-regulation. But when I'm coaching people with ADHD, I'm like, the facts are this. If you put your head on the pillow, it's supposed to take 15 minutes between the time you put your head on the pillow and the time you actually fall asleep. That's incredibly uncomfortable for people with ADHD, and they resist it. They'll do anything not to get in bed. They're occupying their mind with something else. Often I'll have people call me in, I'm exhausted. I'm not getting out of bed. I'm like, okay, so what's your brain doing to entertain itself at night? Oh, I get all kinds of stuff. Like I was on YouTube or Facebook or social media or, whatever it is. And so if you begin to think about this, by the way, many people with ADHD that do go to sleep early, they exercise a lot, or they're just passing out of exhaustion. So if you understand that you have an emotionally reward-seeking brain and going to bed is a boring act, the idea really is not to just go to sleep hygiene, and it's not just to shut yourself off of all social media because your brain wants to entertain itself. The trick is to watch your behavior because you want to find something that will capture your attention enough to engage it, but not too much where the brain won't surrender itself to sleep. Kind of like a Post-it note. Sticky enough to put on the wall, but not too sticky to take the paint off. What does that require? Well, self-observation, because it depends on who you are. But I will share with you, I've had some success with adult coloring books. You get in bed at night, you have the coloring, you have the movement, the creativity, kind of the mindlessness where it captures their activity, and then finally their brain surrenders itself to sleep. I've had other people before where they turn all the lights off in the house and they've got one of those minor lights on top of their head and they're cleaning. It's the physical movement and the getting things done in a quiet environment. That helps. I've had people before where there's a podcast that they really like and you go, wait a second, that's stimulating. I go, yeah, but they've listened to it so many times, they're familiar with it. And one guy, as he said, I turned the volume so I could just barely hear it. So I actually had to strain to listen to it. The point really here is you're intentionally engaging your brain in something that's not too stimulating, but not too boring, all right, in a period of time to enable your brain to surrender itself to sleep. Again, I've heard a lot of people talk about stuff. I have an ADHD brain. Yes, it's leaping out of bed and it's jumping to anything that will entertain it. So again, you pass out of exhaustion. How do you manage that? You got to have some self-awareness and you got to design the environment in the right way for that to happen.